words that he preached out the Bible, but we like his philosophy and his, I heard one preacher say a sentence and people started shouting and high-fiving because of the sentence that he said. I can't even think of what it was, but it didn't make much sense to me. But they were just excited about another way is to worship the building itself, right? Some of us get caught up in the sanctuary, like, oh, look how big and how nice this, and we're all excited about a building and wood and bricks and pews and pulpits and all of that stuff. We're excited about that and not excited about God, not focusing on God. Even in our movement, it can be dangerous if people are only here to see the screen and not to see what's written on the screen. Y'all get what I'm saying? They could be the screen. Okay, that can be dangerous. So we have to make sure that we're not mixing our emotions. Are we excited about the preacher or are we excited about the Lord? Even with some singers, right? We worship the singer more than we worship God, right? We're excited when the singer walked through the door. Like we're at a concert, right? If I bring a certain singer here, we might even faint and miss the song because the singer here, you wake up and they gone, right? You miss the whole thing. I used to watch some of that Michael Jackson stuff. How many of us used to see some of that when he would jump on the stage and freeze? Y'all seen that before? And they have many people, they carry out the concert. They miss the whole concert because they're overwhelmed at Michael just landing, right? How many of y'all was the ones that fainted, right? And they pay good money for those tickets, right? Some of those people right up front paid like $250, and they faint as soon as he get on the stage, and they carry him out, and they miss the whole concert, right? That's how some people, can you imagine people are like that with some of their pastors, that they're so overwhelmed. Now, they talk about these preachers who touch people and they faint. That can happen. Michael Jackson could have touched a few people, they'd have fainted too, right? Right? So some people get so overwhelmed in a personality that they're worshiping that person, worshiping that singer, worshiping that building, and not worshiping God. That's the same thing the world does. The world worships buildings. They worship things and not God. They worship automobiles and houses. It's nothing wrong with having a nice house or a nice automobile, but use it for what it's made for. Y'all agree with that? If you have a car, you ought to take a ride in it, right? You ought to put some miles on it, right? You ought not wash it and pull it back and park it again, right? Back it up next week, wash it down, pull it back in. That just don't make sense, right? You ought to use it for what God gave it to you for and not worship it at all. How many of you know a car will let you down? Anybody been let down by their new car, right? It'll let you down, right? It'll break on you, and it always break when you're broke, right? Do I have a witness in it? At the wrong time, okay? So these things are not to be worshiped, and they worship just like the world before them. They will worship the stars, worship the moon, worship anything they didn't understand. It will become a god, and they began to mix these into the real worship. All right, here it is. You have lifted up the shrine of your king. You even worship the king, right? What's the first thing people do when the president walk in? Y'all tell me what they do. Jump on their what? No one even has to say stand, right? When Barack was president, I was invited to a venue where he was speaking, and as soon as he walked in, people jumped on their feet and started applauding right away. No one had to say, will you rise to President of the United States? As soon as he walked in, boom, and everybody started clapping. But when we start church, we got to ask people to stand. Y'all notice that? Everybody get on your feet. We even have to ask you to clap. Clap your hands. Isn't that sad? Right? If the President of the United States walking right now, everybody going to stand and clap their hands. The President of the United States, then you're going to feel like you special. You can't wait to tell somebody, the president at my church. Why are you not that excited about God being at your church? Why we not texting people saying, God is at my church, right? We don't tell nobody. We're not excited about it. But let a human walk in. So they lifted up the shrine of your king, the pedestal of your idols, the star of your God, which you made what? For yourself. It's very convenient to make your own God. Why is it convenient to make your own God? Why would you want your own God? All right, somebody say you have them at all times, but why else do you want your own personal God? Right. How many of y'all saw that movie, I Dream of Jeannie? Y'all remember that movie? And everybody who watched it wished we could have a genie, right? Like, man. And we were kind of mad at her master because he would never take advantage of having a genie. She wanted to do stuff for him, but no, genie, don't do that. I said, man, good thing I don't have a genie, right? Because I would be rich. How many of y'all would be rich if you had a genie? I would have all kinds of wishes, right? And this is why we want our own God. We want our own God so we can get what we want, right? And they never understood that this God never came through for them. And we say, well, they were crazy. They could have known that it. People go to these churches, and these preachers lie to them all day, all night, and they show up the next Sunday. In the New Testament says, talking about how they were in the past, it says, you have taken up the tabernacle of Molech and the star of your god Rephan. The idols you made. The idols what? The idols, y'all catching that? The idols what? Do we have idols in our life today? How many of us have idols that we might have didn't make them, but we bought them? How many of y'all have idols at your house? Anybody? Nobody in here have an idol? Who has a special room nobody can go in? Come on now, don't lie in here. Anybody got some carpet nobody can't walk on? Y'all learned better? Yeah, we've learned better, right? I was just reminiscing of places I've been as a pastor, and I would go to visit the sick, and the people there were more concerned about me seeing their house than praying for the person that's sick. They would take me on a tour of their home versus taking me to the person that's sick. And I would have to walk around and act surprised about the stuff that they had. And one person took me to the edge of this room. We couldn't go in the rooms. They took me on the edge of it and said, this is my white room. That's what they called it. And everything in there was white. I mean, beautifully done, white. But nobody, even the pastor,